Hey guys, Hello Bella here, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about my tips when cruising with Carnival. Carnival Cruise Line is a massive cruise line, and they've actually got some really good deals going on right now for cruises. People aren't cruising as much as they usually would be for obvious reasons, and for that reason I actually snagged a really cheap cruise that I went on this past Christmas 2021, and I learned so much on that first cruise. It was my first cruise ever, and so I wanted to share some of the information that I learned with you guys in this video. So I'm going to be giving you 10 tips that can help you on your first cruise, and some of these are more of, tactical things that you can bring with you, and then some of them are more about like just things to know that could come in handy, some information that you might not be able to find online just readily available, just some of the things that I kind of learned while I was on the ship. So with that being said, let's get into tip number 1. The first thing that I have to share with you guys is that you want to download the Carnival Cruise app so you can access everything, all of the scheduling, sign up for your meal times, and also check your balance. And you're also going to want to pair that with your room key, which is going to be very important because this is how you get charged for drinks. This is how you get charged for food. This is pretty much how everything gets purchased on the ship. I did not know this, but a lot of people brought this card on the ship on a lanyard. You can see here that it has a little thing for you to hook this onto something, so I wish that I would have done this. As you can see, I did have the Cheers package, and I actually have a separate video about the Cheers package and whether or not I feel like it was worth it, but I actually really enjoyed the Cheers package. But the point of this is that the app paired with the room key is really, really crucial to everything that you need to do on the ship. It has your muster station, it has your folio number, it also has your VIFP club member number. This is the number that you can use to get future discounts on cruises and to get special offers. The second tip I have is to bring plenty of medicine. I know that nobody wants to be sick on a cruise, and you don't really plan on getting sick, but that's kind of how getting sick works. I took medicine for headaches, nausea, pain. I believe I took some Tylenol, some ibuprofen, Dramamine, and I really found myself like reaching for that medicine a couple of times, especially after a couple nights of drinking and just being out in the sun all day, being tired, being worn out, and being in an unfamiliar place. It can be a little bit difficult to sleep. I found that it was hard for me to sleep while I was on the cruise. We didn't have like a super fancy room. We just stayed in the most basic room, and so we were on a little twin bed, and those beds are not comfortable at all. So I would recommend that you either bring sleep medication or you bring your own pillow or something like that, because I did not find it very comfortable to sleep on the ship. And I think that that's just it's a combination of me not being in a familiar place, but also, just having the medicine that I needed to sleep probably would have been a good idea. But take plenty of medicine with you when you travel always. For me, checking in was the most stressful part of my cruise. When we got to the port in New Orleans, it was a little bit chaotic between parking and figuring out where we were supposed to go. It was very stressful, and then we somehow only ended up with one boarding pass. That was a fault of mine because I thought that I had printed it out correctly, but I had somehow left off one of my boarding passes. So we had to go and get someone to print out a boarding pass for us, which they were able to do relatively quickly, but it was important in the moment that we didn't panic and that we didn't freak out, and I think that we handled it pretty well, and we got everything taken care of probably in about 5 minutes. It's really your attitude that can make or break your vacation, and if you let little things get the best of you, it's really going to affect your vacation and your mood, and it's going to affect the mood of people that are traveling with you. So I always say, unless something is going like totally horrible and just everything's going wrong, there's really no reason to get upset about things. You can fix things relatively quickly, and remember that Carnival wants you to get on the ship. They want to get your money. They want you to have a good time. They want you to book future cruises. So they're going to do everything in their power to make it right. With that being said, my tip with check-in is to get there early. We drove 6 hours from Alabama to New Orleans, so we woke up super early. We probably were there 2 hours before we needed to be, and I don't regret that at all because it gives you a lot of room in case things happen. If you have a car issue or you get pulled over or anything like that happens, you forget something, you can go to Walmart before you get on the ship. It's just kind of made things a little bit less stressful for us, so I recommend getting there early. And there's a lot of people who say, oh, don't get there too early because you can't even get on the ship. But if you're an anxious person like me, I get everywhere early. So that's just something that I'm going to continue to do. And that's something that I would recommend that you do as well. Tip number 4 is if you got the drinks package, make the most of it. So you can actually get all kinds of drinks besides alcoholic drinks. You can get the specialty coffees at the coffee bar. You can get Gatorades. You can get sodas. You can get lots of things made for you. So make the most of it. Try different things. Try different types of alcohol. And you can even have coffee with alcohol. I think at one point I went to the coffee bar and got a coffee with a shot of Kahlua in it. And I didn't pay anything extra for that. That's all included in your drink package. So if you do wind up getting the drink package, you don't have to drink yourself to death, but you can also, take this as an opportunity to try some new things, maybe try some different liquors or mixed drinks that you're not used to, and just kind of get outside of your comfort zone a little bit. You can also order, like I said, you can order Gatorade and water and take those back to your room, and then you can have those if you're going to go on a shore excursion or something like that. So number 5 is to take shore excursions. Our shore excursion was really fun. We had a great trip leader or tour guide, whatever you want to call it. His name was Diego. He got us all on his boat and gave us life jackets and got us in the water. We went snorkeling. We had lunch. We had a great time. Everyone who was on the trip was super fun. And we spent the whole day out on the boat when we were in Cozumel. And I think it was only about $115 per person to do that shore excursion. And I mean, we were out on the water for hours and hours, and it was so fun. It was one of the coolest things that I've probably ever done in my life, and it was actually on Christmas Day, so it was a very memorable Christmas that we got to do that. A lot of people probably don't want to pay extra for shore excursions because, they've already spent all this money and they don't want to spend any more, but to me, it's like, if you're already in for $500 or $600, what's another $200 on top of that? I mean, I hate to look at it that way, but that's the way you have to look at it, because you're only going to do this cruise once. You may not ever visit these places again, so it's in your best interest to do as much as you can while you're there. I really enjoyed the shore excursion. It took a lot of the pressure off of us to find something safe and easy to do while we were in port, and we weren't really familiar with Cozumel. We don't have any background information about it since we had never been there before, so we wanted to find something that would be easy and somewhere that we would be able to get back to the ship on time without having to worry. So if you have things that you like to do in Cozumel, I would love it if you would leave that in the comment section, because I'm still trying to learn myself about cruising, and that is just the best way that I knew how to do it as a first-time cruiser, was to take that shore excursion. We both packed really minimal for the shore excursion. I think that we both took sunscreen, sunglasses, a towel, which we really didn't even need. We also took a change of clothes, and I believe we took some money, some cash, and I don't think that we wound up using very much of anything that we brought with us, but we did have it on us just in case. After our shore excursion ended, we had maybe an hour or two to get back on the ship, so we went and we sat and we ate somewhere, and then we went and got back on the ship. So overall, really, you don't need to bring that much with you if you're going off the ship. I feel like less is more in this scenario. Really, as long as you bring cash, you can pretty much get anything you want. So I brought cash and my debit card, and that was plenty to bring. Tip number 6 is that you have so much food that you can try on the ship. You can go to the buffet, you can go order room service, you can go to brunch, you can go to the dinners, you can go to specialty restaurants. I mean, there's plenty of food on the ship, and just be curious and figure out what are the different ways that you can go about it, because for us, it was really the best was going to dinner every night, because we got to sit down and eat and get a little bit of privacy. Personally, I'm not really a fan of buffets. It's just not something that I like to do. I'm sure there are people who live for the Carnival Cruise buffet, but that's just not me. I like to sit down and eat and have my food prepared, so I wound up going to the dining room each night for dinner, and you schedule a dining time, so you have a dining window that you can come in, and you will check in for dining on your app about 10 minutes before you're ready to go to dinner. Just check in, and then by the time you walk down there, they will have your table ready. So on top of that, you can also order room service. I did wind up doing that, I think, on the last night of our cruise, because I was just peopled out. I'm an introvert, and after 4 nights with all those other people out there, I just didn't want to deal with it. So I wound up ordering a pizza and wings to the room. And as long as you order, I believe before 9 o'clock, the room service is free. I think it's like $5 or something like that. They charge you for the food. But it's really not that big of a deal. It was super cheap. I think it might have been $5 or $10 to have the food brought to our rooms. I would recommend that if you're tired and you're just ready to, stay in for the night. You can always do that. You can order pretty much anything you you want to your room. It's kind of crazy how much power you have when you go on a Carnival cruise. You almost feel like someone who is in a higher status than what you actually are. I think that's what happens to a lot of the Carnival cruisers who complain about every little thing. They get a big head because they've got so many people serving them. And that's another thing that I wanted to talk about, is that you are being served by people all day long, and these people work really, really hard. So one of the tips that I can give you is to bring $50 to $100 cash in tip money. I brought $1 bills, and I would just hand them out to everyone who gave me good service. If someone was nice to me, or gave me directions, or moved my bag somewhere for me, or brought something to my room, or fixed me a drink, or anything like that, I would try to tip them as best I could. I'm not rich by any means, but these people are working extremely hard to provide good service to everyone on the ship. So I felt like it was the least I could do to tip them as much as I possibly could. My next tip is for you to go into your cruise with an open mind. Don't plan every little detail. Don't plan stuff all day long. Don't make back-to-back things that you have to do to where you're constantly tired and you're running here and running there and rushing. You should not have to rush during your vacation. That's not something that should be happening. And I would encourage you to do things that sound exciting and fun to you. Don't do something if it doesn't sound that fun. If you're not the type of person who wants to go to a certain event or do a certain thing, don't do it, because it's your vacation. Ultimately, you're the one who paid for this. You're the one who wants to enjoy this. So just take it hour by hour. Don't even take it day by day. Just like literally, we did not plan anything. We would just chill and do what we felt like doing. If we got tired, we would go to the room and take a nap. If we wanted to go drink, we would go to the bar, even if it was 3 in the afternoon. You know, it really doesn't matter. There's no concept of time when you're on a ship in the middle of the ocean. So I would say take it easy and do what you want to do, and don't stress, because that kind of energy just ruins a vacation. I always remember growing up when we traveled, it being really stressful because my parents would plan too many things for us to do, and it just became an all-out itinerary, and I did not enjoy that type of vacation. And since I've gotten older, I've realized that the part of vacation that we enjoy the most is just the relaxing. My next tip is something that I guess I didn't learn until I got on the cruise ship, and that is that it is super windy. So you need to, if you are going to bring a hat with a string on it. That way it doesn't fly away. And a lot of people lost things. Like, things would normally like fly off the ship at random times when I was on the top decks. I saw people lose hats, and I also saw a girl's like sailing sign card fly towards the side of the ship. And you know, they have some buffers in place so that hopefully things don't fall off, but I saw a lot of things flying. So be prepared for the wind. You know, if you've ever been to the beach, obviously it's very windy. So just kind of prepare like you're going to the beach. Don't bring anything that's going to fly away. I had a little shawl for a swimsuit cover up, and that thing was flying away. So I wound up having to tie that on me. So just be prepared for the wind and be able to secure any of your valuables from the wind, or you will be losing them. One of my last tips is that they have a morning brunch every morning, and it is really good. They have mimosas, they have peach bellinis to drink, they have waffles, avocado toast, chicken and waffles. I believe I ordered eggs Benedict one morning. There's all kinds of different things to try. The menu is really good, and that also keeps you out of those long buffet lines in the morning when it's crowded. It was actually really quiet for brunch. I don't think a lot of people realize that it was included with their cruise. And that's one thing that, you know, if you're going on a cruise, one of the biggest things that you can do if you're going to invest your time in watching videos like this is try and figure out what is included. Try and figure out what you've already paid for, because the more that you've already paid for that you can use, the less you're going to have to pay additional for. I mean, ultimately, we all want to save time and money when we can. So just be aware that you are included brunch and dining every night of your cruise, and that is included. There is no extra fee for that. You can order as much as you want. You can order 2 or 3 or 4 things off the menu. As long as it is food, it is included, and the only thing that wouldn't be included would be like alcohol. So just make the most of those brunch and dining rooms. My last tip is actually, maybe it's a tip or a hack, I'm not really sure, but this is a way to get cheap cruises in the future. Use this card at the casino and you will be getting offers for cheap cruises, because I used this card I think 2 times and I only spent like $10, and I was getting casino offers for $20 cruises when I got back off of my cruise. So if you use your card on the ship and you make purchases with it, and you're proving to Carnival that you're a person who likes to gamble or spend money or drink or whatever, you're going to get those special offers. They have algorithms that I'm not aware of, obviously, but they want people who are on the cruise to spend money. So they're going to want to retain your business. They want to keep you as a customer. So you can use that card, and that will prove to them that you have gambled on their ship, and they will be sending you offers. Another way to get offers is just to frequently take cruises. I know a lot of the people who are cruising all the time get special offers. The best offer that I've gotten so far was a $20 suite, and I was not able to take that because it was only like 3 to 4 weeks advance notice for me, but I do plan on taking one of those trips soon. Another trip that I've got planned is I'm going to be traveling to Alaska. I'm going to be going with my grandmother. We're going to be taking a 1-week trip all throughout Alaska, and I'm so excited to vlog that trip and to share all the information that I learned with you about that trip in videos coming up later on this year. So if you want to see that, you can always subscribe to the channel. I hope these tips were helpful for you guys. These are a lot of things that I learned from my first cruise, and I'm sure I'll learn even more as I continue to cruise. But for now, that's all the info that I have. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.